Travis Winggood, so I don't think I'm talking or walking in my sleep. I think I'm conscious. I woke up from my dream to go to the bathroom, and while I was going to the bathroom, I thought I recognized the meaning of the dream, and so I came over to do a video on the dream, and then realized, wait a minute, the actual interpretation is far more than that. So, excuse me for being groggy, whatever, but it's 1 o'clock, and I sleep on my left side, which, if you have ever gotten a hold of my dream interpretation book, you understand why that's significant. Because putting pressure on the left side of the brain activates the left side, and vice versa. And the left side is the intellectual side. This was also the same side that I had my other dream with President Hinckley. That famous dream of mine while I was disappeared from society by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints under Monson at the time. That was a dream where Hinckley gave me the actual key card of his office. Noises outside. Almost like somebody's tapping, trying to get somebody's attention. So yeah, this dream also had President Hinckley. He, among a whole group of us, were living in this little apartment community, and I had an apartment. I think I was either moving in or I had moved there, because I remember pointing out to the girl that ended up holding hands with me when I got the package, or the package of documents from Hinckley. It was the old apartment was the place where I pointed out to her that my second previous wife, so not number 1X, number 2X, she and I had been in. The woman was very cute. Strawberry blonde. She had her hair in a ponytail. She wore glasses. She was not like her sister, who had gone off the deep end. She was stable-minded, intelligent, and still fun and enjoyable to be with. Her sister was getting into some weird, not new age, almost dark arts, but regardless, that was not the point of the dream per se. That was a side symbolism. I just want to tell you about the interaction with Hinckley. And so, as I'm searching for a place to go to the bathroom, because in my dream I need to go to the bathroom, I'm being warned, get up, go to the bathroom. And so the dream is playing around that as well. And so I see the cute little redheaded girl. And I'm walking with her, and Hinckley had previously, I had previously interacted with Hinckley in the dream, and he was, I can't remember, he was communicating with me, talking with me, and then we had separated because he was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. And then we interacted again as I was with the little redheaded girl. And very cute. She was tall for women, taller than her sister even. She was the firstborn daughter of her family. And, she's she is actually part of the story, which is why I caught on to the interpretation of the dream. So she does have significance here, believe it or not, despite my attraction for her, even though she's just a dream. Literally a dream, as well as figuratively a dream. Because the second time I'm with the little redheaded girl, and I encounter Gordon B. Hinckley again, and the three of us are having a conversation this time, and he's somewhat in a rush and hands me a portfolio of papers, documents, and then takes off. And then it occurs to me, he took off, and I'm holding his documents. And so I bid farewell to the girl so that I could find him to return his documents to him. And I'm now encountering a crowd that has filled up the hallway, and trying to say, excuse me, coming through, trying to catch Hinckley, and I can no longer find his apartment. And I end up behind a guy who's purposely trying to block me from getting to President Hinckley. And I realized I had gone too far anyway, and then turned around. I bit him on the nose, because he stuck his nose right in my face. So I just bit it. And that sort of got him out of my way. And but I went too far, turned around, and there in her cot, which was not in an apartment, it was just off to the other side of the apartments, was a woman in bed in the top bunk, watching me, almost as if she had seen me with the little redheaded girl and was jealous that it wasn't her. I then woke up and took care of the warning given in the dream. And so I then realized the first level of interpretation. Oh, yeah, Hinckley doesn't have the authority to seal couples in marriage because he doesn't have the authority. If you're paying attention to my other videos, he doesn't have the key card of authority because he gave it to me way back when. And that's when I realized, whoa, wait, here we go. Because that's why. He didn't have authority, and I then received documents from him. What am I expecting today in the mail? If you've been paying attention, you know I'm suing the church. And today, after the Thursday meeting with the prophets, the lawyers for the church, I'm expecting them to return the waiver of service, if not more. Like, say, settlement papers. And so that was the eye-opener after the eye-opener. After the eye-opener, little redheaded girl. And so, yeah, that was wow. So anytime I have President Hinckley, which has only been twice in my dreams, Monson once, because Monson, I'll tell you that, well, yeah, I'll tell you that one. I think I put it in the book also. But I was married to the second ex, or soon-to-be ex, woman formerly called my second wife. And in that dream, I was living in a tent, and I found boots. And the boots weren't mine, they were President Monson's. And so I picked them up, got out of my tent, went to President Monson, who was surrounded by a few guys, and got his attention and said, "Your boots, you forgot your boots." He just smiled at me and moseyed on down, didn't care to take them from me. So I got to keep his boots. These boots were made for walking. Great song. And so, yeah, because it was after Hinckley gave me the key card to his office while I was disappeared. And I thought I was never going to get out. And so I'm getting upset with God and saying, "Hey, what the hell are you giving me this dream for? I'm gone forever. I'm never going to get out. They're not going to let me out." And yet after that dream locked up, when I was taken out of isolation and put into Supermax, which I've talked about as well, Easy helped me with the paper I needed to write down my dreams and the ideas that I all of a sudden was getting. It was like out of nowhere. I'd just be lying there in my cell and get these ideas, spotted ideas, and I would write them down on the paper that Easy traded with me for my dessert. every evening. He'd rip up his bed sheet into a string or a strand and attach the notebook to the strand of the bed, and I played dumb to make sure I got the paper first before I sent back the dessert. And so I don't know how to do it, guys. I've never been in jail before. And so easy obliged. He wanted dessert, and so great. I want your paper, because he gets commissary. People love him. People don't love me, and so he would then toss it over, and he had a skill and an art. And I would then be able to pull it into my apartment or my cell. Still thinking from the dream. And I would then attach the dessert and send it back over to him. One night, however, the guards decided to hold a raid. And so I couldn't attach the dessert for that evening to the strand that he had sent over, and I got the paper without giving him the dessert, as I decided just to flush it. I didn't want to eat it, but they shut off the plumbing, so it just sat there in the toilet. Memories on the corner of my mind. So yeah, Easy and I also would play chess. With the paper I got, I made a chessboard and chess pieces so that we could play chess. He was good. Of course, I wasn't that great at all anyway, but so yeah. Oh, that was very easy, interesting, easy. So if this dream isn't coherent, you'll understand why. If I can't understand it, if I come back and listen to this, I'll understand why. But I think I got it out. But yeah, Hinckley's gone. He had no authority, and he handed the documents. Gone. No more. So I got his key card once and got all sorts of revelations for why I now have the picture screen of the Pyramid Cities utopia. Because I was literally taught everything that a president of the church, as we Mormons understand it, should have been getting revelation for. The building of Zion, which I've been doing the videos lately. None of the prophets have been building Zion to prepare for the second coming, and as a result the signs have all occurred, and it's too late. They didn't prepare, and yet they're stuck with hundreds of billions that they're saying, well, it's the parable of the talents, which means they're going to give the hundreds of billions to Jesus. And that doesn't make any sense. Why are they giving it to Jesus? He doesn't want money. He wants a prosperous Zion people. You know, the righteous gathered in from the world. He cares nothing for money. And so, yeah, the church has no authority. and so back in lockup, when I was being disappeared, I hadn't gotten my discovery yet, which revealed that Hinckley got the troublemaker file started on me. It was during him, even though he was the one who got me into the church service curriculum department to work on the scripture footnotes revisions for the second time around. And thus nobody else could fire me, such as Farms, who tried, and David Gaunt, who tried. So, yeah, I was getting all sorts of revelations. And then when I finally got into what I thought was going to be my final resting place, I was able to acquire Mormon scriptures, the standard works, the quad. They had no problem giving that scripture to me, but when I started asking for other scriptures, like the Jewish Torah in Hebrew, they weren't as willing to give me religious scriptures anymore. So much for my rights as a prisoner. They did grant me the Quran, though, because they thought that I was just doing this out of spite, and they thought I wouldn't go through with it, and they wanted me to, if you want it, you got to go have a meeting with this guy. Okay. So, yeah, I went to the meeting and got my free Quran, and he taught us about the four main prayers. I have to, there it is right there, under the Book of Jubilees. I'm at 22 minutes. You guys, am I coherent enough that you stuck around? See, the Quran I found out later, when I was learning about which books were plagiarized in the Book of Mormon. The Quran. Oh no! Books of Osiris have fallen to their death. Save the Gospel of Judith, and the Gospels of Philip, Mary Magdalene, and Thomas. Alright, so the Quran, which I got. 5 pillars of faith. Do they call them quatrains? I can't remember. Ali Ibrahim is the guy who came and visited us. Left his phone number. But yeah, the 5 pillars of faith, the testimony of faith, the Shahada, the 5 daily prayers, Shalmat, the 2.5% to poor if financially able, the Zakat, fast for 30 days in Ramadan. I can't read that one too well, so I'm not going to guess at what that is. And then the pilgrimage to Mecca, if able to, the Umrah, 2.196. That's the passage that is to be prayed. Man. And so, yeah, as you see the papers, I would do, if I go back to bed, I'm going to miss my run for a 3rd morning in a row. And if if I stay up. I may end up missing the run anyway because I'll get too exhausted. So, alrighty. You got the dream, didn't you? Hinckley gave me documents. I'm expecting documents today. And he disappears. He's gone. And, just like he's dead and gone. So, that's the interpretation of the dream. Whether it's a prophecy dream, we'll find out today, won't we? Because interesting thing, while incarcerated, I would always get mail on the day that my dream told me I would get mail. It was really cool. Bizarre but cool. So there were different ways it manifested itself in the dream, but I would count up the packages or the letters or the newspapers, which were newspapers they could pull out of the bin and how they're organized there. I'd count those in the dream, and those would be the number of days when I would get mail. News. It was very weird. Alrighty. So, yeah, I didn't see any indicator in today's dream. But if that girl exists and she's watching this video, contact me through my website. It's on the homepage. And I'll be able to see who you are and be able to check your IP address to make sure you're in America. Still could be a Russian asset, but at least you're in America. Oh, man.